Hey everyone, and welcome back. This is Smash. Today we're going to be working on a switchback disc pendant. I'm using a Herbert Arnold 40mm torch equipped with the DOS pedal foot controller. Just to start here, I'm taking some 9.5 tubing and I'm going to flare it out to weld onto my line work. I'm using the Griffin Glass True Flame Working jacks and the bench roller that we make here in house to get that tubing flared out, and then I'm going to attach it to this section of Galaxy Rainbow tubing, really focusing on trying to get a lot of heat into the color tubing and not so much into the clear. The color's so much thicker that it's just going to take a ton more heat to get it to move, where the clear will quickly condense and close up if I overheat it. So once I got the handle on there, I'm going to just stretch it a little bit to try and help get a good seal, and then I'm going to go right to the bench roller and straighten this piece of tubing just using gravity. I'm stopping at what I perceive to be the high spot, and I'm just letting gravity pull the tubing into alignment. Then I'm going to estimate the amount of material that I think I need, and I'm just going to come in and remove that section. Trying to stretch out a little bit of tubing here that is going to be, eventually it's going to become the front of the pendant. It's going to be the section that I do the switchbacks in. So I'm trying to just prep it by thinning it out, and then I'm going to put a stress line with my infinite necking tool, and as it sets up, I'm just going to wiggle, snap, and break it apart. Once I get this flared open a little bit to match my 9.5, I'm going to attach another handle to that side, so I have a open piece of tubing the whole way through with two hollow handles. Once I get that handle welded on, I'm going to take this to my roller and I'm going to double check that everything is as straight as possible, continually straightening everything throughout the process really helps to achieve the best possible results. Then the next step here is to spin up what will become the backside of the pendant. And when I come in here to start twisting this up, my handle cracks. So instead of just spinning it, I'm gonna really have to put a lot of heat into it to work everything back together before I move on here. When I go to blow into this, I'm plugging the bottom open blow tube with my finger. It was kind of out of the shot there, but to get air pressure, I'm just sliding my hand down to the open end of the blow tube and plugging the hole with my index finger. So now I'm ready to start spinning this up. The back of this pendant's going to be a spiral. So I'm twisting this by twisting with my left hand and just dragging the blow tube with my right hand. So my left hand is actually doing the twisting and my right hand is just kind of following along. I'm going to do that same move again where I'm plugging the blow tube with my finger under the table where you can't see it there. But just in order to get air pressure, I'm using my finger. Later on, I'll be using an earplug, which also works well. This section got off center with that move I had to make to rework the handle and fix the cracking issue. So, I'm not really happy with how that's off centered, so I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna actually remove that handle and attach another one to get it hopefully straighter, because when I go to spin this disc out with one hand, when I take the handle off the front side of the pendant, it's really important that it's straight on the back side, otherwise the whole thing could really get off center and wonky. So same move with the infinite necking tool, where I'm just putting a constriction, and then as it sets up, I wiggle it a little bit, and right at the perfect temperature, it'll snap right open. Fresh handle, hopefully straighter than it was. Now I'm going to come in and start doing my wigwag pattern on what will become the front of the pendant. I'm doing a technique called bender back, where I'm heating a small section of glass and then I'm actually bending the glass, or I'm taking it out of alignment or out of axis, where I'm achieving both the forward and backward twists. Both sides of the wig and the wag are happening at the same time, with the bending is actually twisting the glass. Which this is a good technique to practice, and really shows you. In this case, I'm utilizing it to actually twist the glass, but this shows you how important it is to stay in alignment if you're not trying to twist the glass. You can really see how dramatic of a wigwag you get by just bending the glass. So if you're trying to condense something and think you're keeping it straight, but you're bending it, you're gonna end up twisting it. So now I'm gonna just condense this back into the spiral. I'm kind of just heating the switchback section, and I'm gonna heat it and push it together and puff it out several times, little steps. Not trying to go too much in one step. I'm just really taking my time to work it back into one one ball. You can see my earplug there, my stopper for air pressure. Once I get it condensed into one ball, I'm going to take that ball and I'm going to heat and smash the whole thing into sort of a squat bubble before I remove my handle from the front side and actually start to form the disc. So now I'm heating the whole thing, and I'm gonna puff and push it together to achieve that squat bubble. Again, just going in little moves at a time. I'm not trying to, do everything at once. I'm trying to really have more control over the glass by just doing things in small steps. Checking straightness again. And now I'm going to come in and remove the handle from the front side of the pendant. Remove the earplug so it's not sealed up, and then I'm going to work on terminating my spiral. It's important with these terminations to not overheat the glass. It's an easy spot to have it boil, and until that little nipple gets worked back in, it's definitely going to want to burn up. So once I get it picked off clean how I want it, I'm going to really baby it to get it worked back into that bubble before I am too aggressive with my heat, because I don't want it to boil and look bad, because your eye is really going to be drawn to that as a focal point on the pendant right in the middle. So again, just small heats and little puffs to try and work it out. Once I get it where I want it, I'm gonna heat the front and let it flatten to kind of start to form the disc shape on that half of the pendant, on the front half of the pendant. Using the Griffin Ultimate paddle here, which has a V cut into it, which is helpful to stabilize the pendant and is kind of acting as a heat shield. It also will act as a heat sink if the blow tube or the back side of the pendant starts to get floppy. I can pull it into that V and suck some of the heat out of it. I wasn't really happy with how that had gotten a little crooked, so it looked like I just heated the back side there and then went right in on the Elmarver to straighten it out. using gravity to get the shape I want. I don't really want it perfectly flat. I want it more of a little bit of a rounded out shape, a little bit of a bubble. I definitely don't want it to be concave and dimpled in. The next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to prep the holes on what will become the top of the pendant, where the string will go through for you to wear it as a necklace. So I'm going to heat with my mini torch and form a small blister using my blow hose and air pressure on one side, and then I'm going to try and match it on the other side. So I'm prepping both of my holes, and I'm trying to match the size of the blisters to each other, which is going to in turn hopefully give me two holes that are similar in size and similar in spacing as far as where they're at on the front, or the forward or more back on the pendant. So I'm really trying to line them up and make sure that they're gonna end up being the right size and in the right spot before I go ahead and open one. I'm only gonna open one. I'm gonna keep one closed so that I can still have air pressure when I need it. Looks like there was a little blib that came off and attached itself. I'm just knocking that free so as not to leave a mar on the front of the pendant. And then just rounding out the hole with a small pencil reamer and trying to make it the size that I want. It's probably roughly 5 or 6 millimeters. Now I'm going to cold seal with a 6 millimeter rod to the front of the pendant, trying to make sure that this is going to be a good cold seal, not allowing the pendant to get very hot before I attach it. I don't want these two pieces to fuse together. Quickly, while there's heat in the punty, I'm going to go to the roller and make sure it looks fairly straight. And now remove the back side. I say backside, but this pendant really could be reversible. It could be worn either way. I'm gonna try and make sure that the termination and the spiral on the backside are really clean. In the case that somebody does want to wear it with the spiral side out, it will still look nice. Using a Sophietta tool here, which is just a hollow tool with a graphite tip where I can blow through it. So I'm using that tool to blow through the hole that I opened. This is why we only want to open one of the holes initially. So I'm still able to get air pressure to puff into this to round out that backside. Once I'm happy with how it looks, I'm going to open the other hole and try and match it in shape and size to the one that I previously opened. I'm just heating and removing little bits of glass until it pops open, until the glass gets so thin that the flame just pops through and opens that hole. it's just about matching the holes. I'm heating the first hole that I opened so that it's glowing brightly enough to where I can see the size better. Without it glowing, I have a harder time seeing the size of the hole with the shadow of the inside of the pendant. So I find it helps to get it to a little bit of a glow to be able to determine how big the hole is to match it. I'm just taking the chill off of my Marver here so that when I tap this pendant off the punty, I don't do it on a cold piece of graphite where, you know, I could potentially suck the heat out of it and cause a thermal shock. And then same thing with the tweezers. I'm just taking the chill off of the tweezers so that I can grab the pendant without shocking it. Grab it through both holes, and then I like to do this final polish upside down. I find that the glass flows together better upside down. It doesn't create a dimple or anything. I'm just trying to polish away that punny mark. With a good cold seal, you shouldn't have much of a mark. It shouldn't take much heat to polish it. That's it. Into the kiln. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment if there's something you'd like to see in a future video. Peace.